Well, hi there everyone, and welcome back to Feed the Beast Monster, where we are still working on this. This is our MFFS, even mining machine. Not a lot's changed since last time. Obviously, I've left this running, and these things have completely filled up. That's why there's no blue lines everywhere. But pretty much this was as it was, because if you remember, we ran out of diamonds, so we weren't able to make things like the translation modules and all of that sort of stuff. Well, since last episode, I've basically been letting this game idle so that it can get things done, and if we come all the way over here, you can see that this quarry has completely finished. It did take quite some time to do, so I shall need to go and move this at some point in the future, but that is not just at the minute. I will keep both the quarry and this mining machine running at the same time, because you know you cannot have too many items. Get off the tree and don't fall into the water. Swim, swim, swim. I've managed not to do that even once. Come on, go up, please, before I drown. Thank you. Come along. I can get up there. Yes, I can. So it has done extremely well. I am pretty pleased with it, and now we can get along and make up those remaining modules just as soon as you watch me climb out of yet another wet quarry. There we go. Perhaps I really ought to get the jetpack flight control stuff installed in my suit. I should also notice that while I've been waiting, this has completely filled up. Well, I say completely. Nearly completely. It's still draining a little bit. For some reason that one charges up last and empties first. I have no idea why, because it's in the middle. Anyone who understands the way that thermal expansion RF energy works can perhaps tell me that one. But you can see that these are all working pretty darned well. Let's get back into the factory, where we shall see that no longer are we out of diamonds. That quarry did exceedingly well and has actually managed to pick up 65 diamonds. That's really rather good, actually. And I have a lot of junk on me actually still from last episode, which I can probably mostly get rid of. I still have my emergency diamond. It might not be at all a bad idea to, let me get all of that stuff away, store that diamond away in here as an emergency. I also dug up 114 mimikite so we can make lots of extra stuff if we so need. Right, clear out of that and let's get back into the Modular Force Field System stuff. Because we needed extra scale modules. Scale modules were the things which we had run out of. 17 translation modules should be enough. We'll need the best part of another stack of scales though. So the scale modules are this one, and NEI is being a little bit laggy, and we are completely out of the focus matrices. Now, one thing I didn't actually do before this episode was make up any extra steel, but we may just about get away with that. I might just as well put some more on to cook just whilst I'm waiting. Hello, rain. Railcraft steel. It is railcraft steel, isn't it? That's in the blast furnace one. Which one is it? The E-Masher, Tinkers, Rotary Crafts. Ooh, it's this one, is it? No, it's not. Is it? Certainly not the Rotary Craft one. It is not the Railcraft one, because we just did that. Oh, I know what it is. It is coal, surrounding iron. Just like that. I don't know why I was messing around like that. Let's get a couple of stacks, or maybe even 3. because we are getting through the steel. It will come in handy at some point. And I don't actually have a way to put things in here automatically like a hopper. There's no more things going through, fortunately, because, of course, the quarry has just finished, so we don't have any ores going through. We are out of the backlog. But that will do for now. So we've made up all of those focus matrices. So let's whip up a stack of scale modules. We have plenty of scale modules and plenty of translation. How many focus have we left? 37, because the other thing which we are going to need is speed modules, and we're going to need a lot of speed modules. Where are speed modules? I'm thinking about 2 stacks. We have enough for 12 just at the minute. But more should be coming in. More should not be coming in, more steel should be coming in. So, how many of these have I used? Not many, actually. I really should have thought ahead and made up the extra steel. I shall apologise unreservedly for that, but that's nearly 2 stacks. That probably has 22 more, which is enough for a few more. Yep, getting on for 3 stacks will be enough probably. So let us go and make these speed modules. As I say, I'm going to need approximately 2 stacks. I have made just in excess of a stack. Will that be enough? I'm thinking that's going to be just a tiny bit short. Just ever so slightly. So let us... I really ought to also check and see. You can't have too many. I also ought to check and see how much redstone I have, because of course I did run out of that once, and it was a terrible, terrible thing. That will be close enough for now. Redstone, I have absolutely tons of redstone. That is good. This rain, let's run and get out of the rain. Run, run, run. Yuck. Okay. So why do we want all these modules? Well, let's just remind ourselves of where this was. If we get rid of the collection and disintegration module just for now and turn this on, that was the right size, but it wasn't going down far enough. It was only going down by 8. This is on level 72, was it? 72, so it needs to go down by over a stack actually, doesn't it? 64, that'll leave it 8 above the base. That is 72, that will be 1 too many technically, because that will be cutting into bedrock, which will do nothing, but that should be fine. You can see it is draining power. Draining power much faster than it can get it, and it is dead. Let us pop the disintegration and the collection modules back in. So this is where the speed modules come into this, and I'm going to pop half a stack of speed into each of these. It will just change how quickly these things can supply Fortron, because I don't think these will have too much trouble supplying that. These are basically big banks of Fortron, as I said, and this converts the RF into it. The big problem is getting it from these two into that. This is full again. Let's see if it can hold itself. Let's see if it can hold itself without the extra modules. You see, now it can hold itself like that. That's not actually going down, which is good. So that will hold indefinitely now. So let's turn that off and put the disintegration module, which will take 30 Fortron, that will take 15, so that's pumped it up by a lot. You can see how much it's using down there. It was using 4.12, it's now using 5.01, but let's see if that will hold. That is actually holding. Yep, it can hold that, so I can now supply enough power to it. And if we look over the edge carefully, it should be disintegrating it. It may be disintegrating it from the bottom upwards. So what I'm going to do is slap a few speed modules in this, because why not? Let's go for 30 and see if that will kill the power. No, it can still work even with those speed modules in, and that should be working quite quickly now. It looks like it is. Those beams are going down deep underground. If we click on this chest, you can see that it's picking lots and lots of stuff up. Hello zombie, where are you? Hi. Goodbye. So yes, that is picking lots of stuff up. A big advantage of mining this way is of course that this will actually dig straight down to bedrock. So you are going to get things like diamonds immediately. And hopefully this is still working. Yes, we have not used up any excess power. So this entire system can hold it. I'm just going to hop back on through and check. Hop. This, which you can see, is still not even slightly drained, so we are producing more than enough power to do this mining. That is good. That is very, 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 very good. Right, let's see if we can up the speed a little bit more since we have extra speed modules all the way up to 42. Can you hold at that? Yes, you actually can, can't you? That is fine. You are holding at about 46, which is enough. And here you can see that is now a hold down to oblivion, which if I fall down, I won't actually die because of my awesome boots. There's some experience dropping down there. And I think that has actually mined all the way down to bedrock, which is obviously absolutely awesome. I'm very pleased with that. I'll not fall down there because I'll never get back out again. That has dumped it all into this chest. You can see what we've got. A reasonable array of stuff, and I shall switch that off now because it doesn't need to be on. Now, rather than switching it on and off by clicking that, I can just pop a lever down right here and switch it on and off, which is easier. Right, let us organise my inventory like that, just so that I can pick up all of this stuff and slip it all into my ME system. Now that we know it works, I can put the ender chest down. Has that just sorted my inventory somehow? What? Have I just put a load of stuff I wanted into? Well, I think I've got most of it still. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I must have caught R, did I, and organised my inventory. I still have the force manipulators and the scale modules, or did I just have a load of stuff on me anyway that I picked up from somewhere? I don't really know. I'm sure I'll work it out when I look back through. I mean, surely I just picked up 2 stacks and they've combined into one. Something strange is going on. Whatever. That can come up, and I have put the ender chest through, apparently. So I'm going to have to, unfortunately, go and rescue that ender chest. So let us get back and install the next part. Hoppity hop. In and through. The next part is, of course, movement. We now have this thing, which is that refilling that? It is. So this thing is sitting here. What we need it to do now is actually move forwards. This entire thing should move forward by 1. This should activate again and chop out the next layer. So this is where these things come in. I will just pop down my ender chest, which shall now have lots of stuff going through it from where the trees are being cut down. Right, where do I want these two? I will want a little bit of room through between them to put extra stuff. So these can go for now. Will they be okay there and there? They will be fine here and here. So these things are force manipulators. Now I have to remember which way round these things go, because I always find these things really tricky to place. I believe that is actually the front. Anyway, here is a force manipulator. We do not want anchor mode on because that will limit it to where it is now, so we switch that off. That way, where it will move when this thing moves. The entire base is moving, so the squares it wants to move needs to move as well, so that needs to be off. This will show you which squares are being moved. If I set it like that, it will show me which squares it's trying to move. I'm going to translate it one forwards and see if it will tell me where it is moving. Now this should produce a rectangle somewhere of, I'm trying not to fall into this quarry, where things are moving. I'm doing something very, very stupid here, I do know. Okay, the force manipulators. For these things to work, they need to be facing this way. You can see they have one face here and all these other faces are the same. That is the direction it is going in. This one here is the top. Now, have I actually put that in a terrible, terrible place? The actual answer to that is yes. It's not so much that that is in a terrible place as these are in a terrible place. So I shall have to change this around just a little bit. Probably by bringing these in, maybe back. Okay, let us quickly move this. Oh, I've dropped everything out of it. But if that goes back to, say, here, frequency 1, switch on, fill up, that will still work, yes, and this will as well. You'll see why I have to do this in just a second. That is the wrong place. That, however, is the right place. The reason is simply because these things will switch you on. It changes the design a bit, but it still looks pretty darned good. Is this one actually on? No, it is not yet. Let us just get these out. That is a translation and that is a scale, but it is filling up with energy because it is on 1. Right, this one wants to move the entire platform forwards. Now the first thing you need to notice is that there is a red hole in the middle, just like there is in this one. That is for where you tell it what shape it should be building in. So I've had to build up an extra couple of cube modules off camera. That is an extra diamond each, which is a bit annoying. So I put that in there. You can see it will now show you that it will take the block it is on and move it 1 forwards. That isn't exactly what we actually want. We actually want it to move this entire base 1 forwards, if you like. So we will now extend it out with scale modules until it is the right size. So it will want to go 1 forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back, is it? So 1 forwards. You'll note I've got this set to this big square, which will show you all of the squares it will move. So that will move. Is that extending it that way? Okay, that's extending it that way, that's no problem. So is that far enough back? It is actually, but I'll send it 1 further back just in case I stick something off the back. And also 2 forwards. So you can see it is now moving that entire line forwards. That is fine. We also want to extend it this way. Yes, this way. 1 more, I think. 1 more this way, and I think that is the entire base covered. I really need somewhere up here to look. Yep, that's the entire base covered and moving forwards. We now just need to move it up and down, because if you look on the side, it isn't actually moving this base bit. So for future proofing, I am going to make it go up and down 1 scaled as well. You'll notice I'm scaling rather than translating, because that would just create a 1 wide block at that position. We'll do translating with the next one. But you can see that this is now going to grab the entire machine and effectively move it one block forwards. Okay, I'll show you this other mode. This is off and this is 1. If you just set it to this, it will just show you the blocks it can actually grab. So it is actually just going to grab these blocks, which is exactly what we want, I think. That isn't one too far forward, is it? Because if it is, it might possibly dig a tree up. No, or carry a tree with it, I should say. That is fine. Let us turn that off and pop down another lever. Flick the lever on and we will see what happens. It will glitch out slightly because I am standing on it. Hello, creeper. Please go away. Do not blow up, please. Do not blow up and mess everything up. Right, that has made a huge noise and I think done nothing, and I can see why it has done nothing. It is because I put the lever behind it. Instead I put the lever next to it. You'll see why I have to do that pretty soon. But just to check, it hasn't actually moved, has it? It has not moved. It has not moved because this lever was actually in the way, and you will see why in a second. And there we go. The entire thing has moved one block forwards. As you can see, it is now over there. And what has happened is that this block, if you look at it, has gone one back. This is because the force manipulators can't actually move themselves. It's moving every block around it, but not itself. So this is why we need the second one. This second one is here just to tell it, or just simply to grab this one block and pull it one forwards. So let us do that. We now need to put a cube module in here. And this is where we want the extra translation modules, because we want to translate the block that is moving off to the left. I need to switch it on so I can see which it is grabbing and turn off the anchor. I have translated it the wrong way because this is facing the wrong way. So I now have to spin it round until it is facing the right way, which means clicking it like that. There we go. So it is currently going to attempt to grab a block out there. So it does actually want it on this side, apparently. Let us try that. That will now grab a block. Why is it trying to move that block wherever I put it? Let's take these out. Thank you. Now I think you should be going left. Is it because I twirled you round? Yes, whilst it was still in. So one more that way and one back. And that might now be set to that. No, it wants to go one that way. That's fine. There we go. You can now see this is just grabbing that one block because this is only one block wide and pushing it forwards by one. If I put a lever down here, I better turn this one off just so this thing doesn't move forward endlessly. Put a lever down here and flick it, and that block gets pulled one forwards. Perfect. And that's now reset the entire machine. I can turn that off. One block forwards. I can now switch this thing back on. Go chat to a zombie. Where are you? Hello? Goodbye. And you can see that this, if I don't fall down, in fact you can probably see better from here, is now digging up this entire next row forwards, which is pretty darned awesome. So let's just really quickly let that do that. For some reason there is something there. It is gunpowder from the creeper. That's fine. So we have to wait a little while whilst this does dig up, which will be very important in a minute, or probably next episode. The way that... Hello! Don't you dare. Don't you dare, creeper. You haven't actually damaged that. But you've made a mess of my nice clean hole that I was going for which I can never forgive you. Right, I'm just going to plug the edge up a bit, drop bits down there, just to tidy up the edge. I really hate creepers, doesn't everyone? I'm just glad it didn't take that out. The other interesting thing is that this will chop through that tree. We shall probably get the leaf blocks in. I think it does pick them up. And I am nearly out of health. That is really rather bad. So this is still taking quite a long time to actually dig. I think it has done now. It has dug out a whole extra level. And now we can move things forwards again. So this one first will move the entire thing forwards by one and probably drop me through. No, just spin me round, turn that off. So now we are one forwards again. I've left this thing on, so it should now be starting to dig the next layer out, as you can see. And now flick this lever, which will pull this one forwards. Switch it off. So we could do this thing like this, and it will of course go through the entire map forever. I will just have to sit here and switch levers on and off. You could leave them both on, it will then run forwards really quickly, but that would not give this thing enough time to actually dig the holes. So we are going to have to make something which can automate moving things forwards, backwards, left and right. What is being dug up there? It is a blueberry seed, I believe it is. Very nice, but you can see we are starting to dig very big holes in the ground. So that will be it for this episode, guys. I know this build is going on quite a long time, but it is getting very near completion. The last thing that we need is the brains of the operation, something to sit here and tell it, move that, dig, wait till finished, move that, and so on. And this thing can zoom off in that direction forever. We will obviously also need to make this thing chunk loaded, because there will not be a chunk loader on this. The quarries chunk load themselves, and I would need to stand near it to keep the chunk loaded. I will say that a great many times otherwise. But once again, that will be it for this episode. That has dug out already. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Do like and subscribe if you did, and most importantly, I do hope to see you once again next time. Thank you and goodbye.